This is Philip again, and welcome back to our short course for Shopify Hydrogen 2.0 Plus Remix. We are now in session 7, where in this video we are going to take up another exciting topic that I am going to demonstrate that surely will help you to provide a good solution to your client store requirements for Hydrogen. Session 7 is all about adding a custom app to your existing Hydrogen app. For me, when I say custom app, I meant that I will be going to build a custom functionality from scratch that works the same functionality that you can find in the Shopify App Store. As of today, there are only few apps that extended their services to Hydrogen build. Now, in this session, there are three parts that I will be going to demonstrate. The first part will be a custom functionality for newsletter. And the second part will be adding a custom app back-end stock functionality into your existing app. Like for example, if are we going to visit the catalog, now we're going to look at the product that already out of stock. Like for example, in this one, you will see and find that there's a form added automatically when the stock is below 1. I mean, it is 0 or negative quantity. Now, in the last part of this session, and we're going to add a custom app pre-order functionality with a variant metafield with expected delivery. Now we're going to back to the catalog and let's try to find a product that is continuous selling even if the quantity is already negative, or I mean it's out of stock. Like for example, this one, the inventory nut rack snowboard, and you will see here that it's already, I mean it's out of stock, but since that this product is enabled to continue selling even if the out of stock status of the availability of this product. And we can also add a metafield by a variant level. So I think we are almost done with this short course, and I will be providing another short course for back-end integration for Shopify admin APIs that will help you to become a full stack Shopify developer. If you are just new to this channel, please don't forget to subscribe so you can easily be notified every time I will bring to release more exciting videos tutorial anytime soon. And I think without any further delay, let's go ahead and I will going to show you how we can implement this custom functionality to your existing Hydrogen app. Now, before we begin to create this newsletter form added to our Hydrogen app, we are going to evaluate why it is required to integrate with the admin API. At first, if you're going to install the pre-added configured Hydrogen app, you never see that there is a newsletter form added to your app, because the reason why they have a different mutation compare with a storefront. So in the storefront, if we're gonna try to look at in our in our app now, we are going to look at the customer creation. Like in the routes, you see here that there is a register account. Now this module will help us to create exactly the same customer account to your Hydrogen app, but the problem is they have a different mutation. And in this mutation, in creating a customer, it requires an email and password. Now let's try to look at in the resource that Shopify provided for mutation. Like for example here, I think this is for an API, storefront API, I think. Yes, this is for storefront API. And then if you see in the right side, this is the mutation code. And if you are trying to look at the variable for the storefront, it requires the email and password. If you see in this customer mutation arguments and customer create input fields, there are specifically added an attribute required for email, and for the password is also required. But if we're going to talk about newsletter, mostly a newsletter will only require an email address, and it will automatically create this account to our backend customer admin. Like if we're gonna see in our dashboard in the customers, so this is a pre-added sample customer account, and it will automatically create when we are going to submit a newsletter. But of course, doesn't require to create this person just to subscribe for an email notification. So that's the one thing now we're going to look at in our GraphQL admin API. Now, if you were going to see the customer mutation here, like the customer create, if you try to look at in the details for customer info field, you see that there is no required attribute like the password. You never see that it is asking for password. So this is the one thing that what is the reason why we need integration with an admin APIs and how it is really important. A lot of things that you can do when you know how to integrate your Hydrogen app with your own admin API integration. So in my next short course, I will going to provide that kind of setup that you are going to learn how you are going to write your own Node.js integration to admin API. So I think that's it. Now let's go back to our VS Code, and now we're going to start to build this component. So at first, we are going to create a new component. So I'm gonna write down. I think I don't have to add it in the custom component. So right now we'll just add it as a general part of these components. So here I'm gonna say newsletter form dot tsx. Oh, I think I misspelled the extension name. Then I'm gonna say constant name of the form newsletter name of the component this one equals to arrow function, and then we're gonna return then a gsx. We're going to add an existing form for Tailwind, so we don't have a lot of work to be done when we are defining our own css, just to give you the layout of our customer form. And here we're going to say export default and the newsletter. Then let's go back to our browser. So let's find an existing Tailwind newsletter form. Let's say Tailwind newsletter form. So this is how I if there's some cases that I need uh, uh I mean the mock-up that there doesn't provide from the client, so I can just use an existing sample of the form or whatever is it, so I can easily add it and without any further works to be done. So here I just copy it. Now let's go back to our component. Oh, this is the integration here. Now here we're gonna move that for in the right side. Then here just replace class name. Then here I think there's HTML4. What else required? Then I think this is for input. We're gonna add slash for gsx. I think that works fine. Now we are going to find where we're going to place this newsletter form, and most of the time we have to inject this form in layout tsx. So we're gonna find here for desktop view or in the footer. We're gonna try to search footer. Okay, so here is the footer function. Now the existing footer function, I think probably I'm gonna add a fragment parent container, so I can add another child element, which is the newsletter form. And here I'm gonna type newsletter form. Let's try to save, and let's try to look at in our preview. All right, so now the animation is working pretty well. So you see, now we are now have this newsletter form added to our existing app. Now we are going to create our own custom functionality and how we are going to integrate with our own Node.js admin API integration. Now let's try to fix this. There's a problem with this button. I think it's white color text, and here let's try to find the button. Maybe it was set to white color. Where is that? text white. Change it to black. Save. Go back to the preview. Should be refreshed. Now it works pretty well. And then what we can do is to integrate this form in our API. I mean the admin API. So in dealing with this, we need to configure our storefront app, custom app. Like if in the settings, we're gonna visit our app and sales channel and develop apps. And if you're gonna open it here, so this is the configuration. So if you did not configure yet your admin API, so we're gonna do this in our another short course and how we are going to configure it out. So we are all about doing in our storefront. So I think I don't want to mix this thing with a storefront. So in the later short course, this will be taken up in all of these things that you wanted to learn. Okay, so that's it. So I cannot show you all of this from this video. So here we're going back here. And then right now, we are now ready to add a submission to our admin API. So in the form, I think I'm gonna remove that. Then here, probably I will going to create a functions. Like gonna say constant on submit form. Then gonna say event, or I'm gonna say async because I want to use wait. And here say event any arrow functions. And then first I will going to prevent this, and probably as of this time I will not do that. I'm gonna show you exactly what I mean. Event target, there it comes. And then in the form, when are going to submit, then it will call to this function. We're gonna say on submit is equal to submit form. Save. And then let's try to look at in our preview. If I were going to click, now this is required, so you cannot submit without filling out this email address. So we're gonna say DSP subscribe. Now you see that the form, I mean the app is refreshing. So what we're gonna do here, it's reloaded to its own when you are going to submit the newsletter. So you do not see what exactly the form is working. And I think what we need to do here, we're going to add an event prevent by default. Prevent default. So it seems like we are preventing this form to submit automatically as a native functions of the form. Cancel, why is that canceled? Rebuild. Okay, now let's go back to our preview. And if I were going to submit, add first the email. Now you see it's not refreshing anymore. And then this is a form that I was used to submit. And here, let's go back. Now I see it that it is being logged this event. And the element, which is the form that's submitting this event. Now I think I need to serialize this form. So like for example, I only need this email, and of course it's a newsletter. So in every newsletter there is a tag. There will be a tag that will help to make this customer tag as a newsletter or subscribing into marketing. So what we're gonna do with this, so probably, or I think it doesn't really necessary to do that. It's just all added in our admin integration. Like I'm gonna show you what is exactly in my admin integration. So I created a route for this app, and then it's a post method. Then I added a mutation, the mutation that is provided from here. If you look at here, say the sample. So if you see that there is no password added to that in creating a customer. So now I only need this email and the accept marketing true is equal to true. These are the important fields that we are going to add when we are going to submit a form from a newsletter. So let's try to look at back here. If you say in my admin integration, so what I did, it's the same mutation. In the variable, I only add email and accept marketing is equal to true. And then later in our next video, as a part of this session, we are going to tag each of them if they're coming from uh, back in stock functionality. Then we can also easily add a tag to that customer. And in this tag, we can make this as a segment in adding into our marketing tools. Now, what we're gonna do is to go back here in our storefront hydrogen app, and now we're going to serialize this. And what we need to do here is just to add a constant data variable is equal to new form data. Then here I'm gonna say event target, and then as any, and then let's convert this into a JSON string. So I mean an object for JavaScript. We're gonna say let object is equal to as any bracket. Then we're gonna use for loop. If there are multiple added to that form, then we are going to use for loop. Then k, then value. K, it means the name of the input element and what is the value of that element, and of data. And then let's say object k, then oops, hold on. So k object is equal to value. And then here, let's try to console the object if what gonna be happening here. Save, and let's go back to our hydrogen preview. So if I were going to submit this email, subscribe, now you see that there is no data appear in our console. So probably it's there is a missing property in our input. Okay, so there is no name. So that's the basic attribute we are going to add when it comes to uh, a key target of your element. So we're gonna say here like email. Save. Then let's go back. And now we're going to submit again. Subscribe. Now you see it's appearing this email. So now I think we are ready now to submit this form to our integration. And now I think in my admin integration, I run it in my local so I can easily diagnose or whatever I gonna perform to make it sure that everything is working fine. Now here I will going to use a fetch method, a native before it is what we call Ajax submission for anything that is the same way how it is the fetch are working well. So here we're gonna say fetch, then I will going to submit it in my local integration, say local host. So it's running on an extension 3001 port. Okay, so we're gonna run this node right away here. We're gonna say node index. Now it's running this server in 3001. So let's go back here. And now I'm going to use that 3001 and use later. And then say method post. Oops, let's spell. Did I spell right? Come on, like that. Method, then body. I'm gonna attach a body. So JSON stringify object. Then I'm gonna say header, and then The content will be, content type will be application JSON. So I think that's enough. Okay, now I'm gonna use a then await response. Oops. So any response from the server, I will going to console. I will going to convert this. Like for example, I will not convert that, so you will understand how this response really works. So now we're gonna say if I would, okay, so response, then arrow function. So we're gonna try to log this response, something like that. Okay. So, oops, what is that? Cancelled. Okay, now let's go back to our preview. And here, if I were going to submit this, subscribe. Now this is the response from the server. And it looks like everything is okay. So let's look at our server. What will be, okay, so it seems like there is a problem with my user provided for API access. So I think I need to find what is the right API access to that. Okay, let's. Alright, so behind the scene, I changed the store URL because it was configured on a different store. And while the admin API password, it's different. So that's the reason why I got an API invalid key and access token. So now I think it's working fine. If you will see here in the log that it is now responding with this customer 705. So we're gonna look at in our uh, hydrogen store and gonna refresh if it's already submitted this email. Now it is added to this customers list. Let's try to remove so you will see how this really works. We're gonna say delete, and then let's go back in our preview. Now let's try again and click subscribe. Now the server is now responding. Let's try to look at in our backend. Now again it's lagging to this result of the customer creation. So it means it doesn't require the password. It's only for email and accept marketing. And now what's the next is that we are going to uh, I mean we are going to change the log. So you see that the logs is doesn't appear what exactly I want. I want to see this response. Like if you're gonna see in here, this is the response from the node, and I want this to be logged in the storefront in the console. So what we're gonna do, let's go back in our function. Now this is the reason that earlier I said that we're going to I'm going to show you what exactly this really works when we are going to change this as response.json. And then here I'm gonna say then. So if you are just new to fetch method, then you will find if you're going to add this semicolon, now you see that there's a flag that can't find name then. So that's the one thing that you just remove that, then it will extend to another then statement. So you're gonna say data, then arrow function, then say console log, then say data. And if you want to extend more to catch that error, you're gonna say catch, then say error. If there's something wrong with your server or it's not running, then the catch will help you to know what exactly is happening in your server. So say console log. Let's try. So you will find how exactly this works, or maybe probably okay. That's it. Then here, if you want to add more functions like finally, but I think that's not really necessary. The only thing, if the server really heavy to submit this object, then you can use finally. But if that is not it's not the situation, you can just end from catch. So you're gonna save, and we're going to try, so you will have to understand what exactly that fetch really works. So we're gonna close this server, and now we're going to submit again. What will happen to our front end? Submit, Now because we are using a wait, now it takes a little bit, maybe a milliseconds to get the response. Now you see, and if you're going to click that logs, it is coming from here. And this is the thing that if there's some problem, you can easily find it in your catch console. Like in the catch console, it says something like it failed to fetch this submit form in detail, that you can easily understand what exactly is going on. So that's it. Now let's run again my node. Now it's running, and let's go back in our storefront. And here, let's try to remove the customer added to that. Let's try to add it again. Delete, and let's resubmit. And what will be the changes of our console? Let's say subscribe. Now you see earlier that it's different. It's just telling about the response of the server, but now it's what exactly the response from the Node.js, that like data customer, it is now added into our logs like data customer and so on. If there's no error, now we can use this data as our trigger object, that if in case there's no error, then we can display something here. Like if you want to display successfully, or if the email is already exists, so we're gonna try to subscribe again. So you will see what's the error will display. If the same email will submit to the form, then we expect that it says something like the email is already exists. You're gonna click subscribe. Now in the data, let's try to click the data object and expand the customer create. Now you see that there's a user error, added an array with a message of email has already been taken. So that's the one thing for sure, that how it is really important to use this response.json down to that. So it's passes, it's converted to JSON. Now that JSON response, it goes to this then function, then transform to the data object, and we are just consoling that data object down to our browser console. So that's it. Now we are ready to find something else that is really helpful to your UX experience. And probably we're going to tell something here that if this already exists, then it will tell something for us. So what we're going to do here, we're going to add another state, use state, which is very important in building a React component. So here we're going to add another use state variable. So up in here, then say constant. If there is an error, so we're gonna start from error found, then set error found, and then use state. You can say, why is that use state? We're gonna try again. Use state from React. Okay. Then here false, because I know that it is a boolean. I'm gonna say as boolean. Boolean double O. Okay. Then here, when I say that there is a problem, error, we're gonna copy this spot in here, copy. So in my data, I'm gonna add dot, then extend. So why is there is a flag, red flag? Data is of type of unknown. Okay. So if you are in a TypeScript, then you need to set this data. I'm gonna say any. So it will remove that error. Now save. Then I'm gonna say length. If there is more than one index, or I mean zero index, more than zero index, then I'm gonna say length. Let's say try to flag that into console. Then you say try to use the same email, then subscribe. It says that there is an error one. So this is the one thing that for sure we're going to flag this here. Say like that, copy, and then if this length is equal to that, then now we're going to apply the result for this length. When there is no error, then the length will be 0, but there's some problem, then length will be becomes more than 0. So here I'm gonna apply the use state because this is our variable that will tell us that there is some changes on our app or in our component. So you're gonna say set found error found, then I will change this to true, then else, then I'm gonna set this error found false. And now we can apply this state. Use state goes to our return component. So probably you're gonna place that error. If there's some problem, then the error will be maybe down to this before this element. Okay, now let's go back to our tailwind. I'm gonna say so I can just instantly add some class name. Let's say error notification tailwind. So there are a few examples with that, and I think probably where's the tailwind? It should be here. Alert, yes, I think you're gonna use apply this uh, setup, or we're gonna say error nothing. If we are going to get this good, I want this probably, maybe this one. Oh, so it's something, it's not free. Okay, let's go back. Maybe should be here. Yeah, it's here. So you're gonna use this one. I just copy it, then add it in my component down to this line. Something like that. And here you're gonna say like this. Then the class should be class name. Oops. Then replace. And then the next one, I will going to add the use state here. So you're gonna say error found if true, then and. If you don't have an else, then you will just use the symbol double and sign, and like that. Then here you're gonna cut that down to this line, then save. Okay, let's find out if this is really work. Everything is fine. Okay, so let's go back to our preview. So if I were going to add again this email and subscribe, and you say that the error it's now responding. So I think we can add to close this error. Like for example, if I wanna click this, then it will remove this alert. And what can I do? So this is the X button. Probably you're gonna add it here. So if you see on click, then here we're gonna say we don't need to. I think this is only a short function. Then we can just add the function in this inline function, the arrow function. Then we say set error. Then I'm gonna change it to false. So false because this is always returned as true. So it will not display if the error found variable is in false. So let's go back again in our form, and then if I were going to subscribe, it's showing up this error. Then if I were going to close that, it will disappear. Now I think we're gonna change this something looks good, like probably what exactly in the error. So it says that email is already taken, so we're gonna change this message like email has already been taken. Save, and let's try to look at the preview again. Subscribe, and it says something email has already been taken. There's a little space with that, so we're gonna add a little space like this. Save, then subscribe again. All right, so we're gonna close it. Now what if it is went successful? So now we are going to add another use state for that. So what we're gonna do here, we're going to add another constant variable, say success found, set success, whatever name you want, it's fine, as long as it is easy to identify that variable are intended for that functions. So we're gonna say boolean, save. Now in here, if there's an error, so we set this success as false, then here I will going to set this as an opposite. So we're gonna say success found, surely if this is false. And here, if this is no error, then you say success found is equal to true. And then right away here, we're going to add another set of condition, like you say success found, the same way, unsigned. Then we're gonna return this. So we're gonna look at another tailwind. So if you are prepared to uh, explore more about that, then you can do that as well. So here, where is that success alert? I cannot find this alert. Maybe probably this one. Success alert. Let's say success alert button. Seems like I could not find that easily. Maybe probably I can use this one. Green. Is this a banner? Let's try to look at another one. So success notification tailwind alert. It's the same. What would be the best? Maybe this one. But this is a solid form. I think I could not find that easily. Success alert. Alert tailwind. What this is? Okay, I think this one. So here probably gonna copy this down here like that. What is the best? Expand. Success should be like this one. Okay, we're gonna try this. Copy that. Then replace. Then save. Then let's go back to our preview. How this really work. Okay, so we are going to remove that email. So we can resubmit the same email to this form. I'm gonna remove that customer again. And then let's go back here. Say subscribe. Now it is responding this notification. So it seems like this is really work. So I need to add some close button here. So we'll just copy the same element. Maybe probably I will put it here in down to that container. This is the parent container, and then probably gonna add it here, something like that. So let's try to save. Let's go back, and then we're gonna try again. Remove. Delete, and then refresh, run, subscribe. It seems like it is not visible. I think it's here, but it is absolute. So what I said previously, when there is an absolute, then where you want to place this element absolute, you will going to set this parent container as relative. Now it is here. So what I'm gonna do, And we're going back here, then we're going to say relative for tailwind. You just set relative, then it will automatically set as a relative container. And here I think I'm going to change this as success found set. All right, so here let's go back and let's gonna try again. If this is already exists, subscribe. Now it's already taken. So if I were going to remove that email back to that uh, customer list, if you try to look at here, you see that this is already automatically set as email subscription, and it also tag as a backend stack. Where we place that tag, it's in here. So if you want to change this like a newsletter, so usually you can add a newsletter tag to that customer, and probably I'm gonna cancel that first, then run again. So it take effect these changes, and we're going to remove that customer again, delete, and let's go back to our preview. And here, if I were going to add this email subscribe, it says that, okay, so we're gonna change that later. So if I were going to close that, it's when success, then it's closed automatically. And let's go back in here. So okay, so I'm gonna change here something I need to say success, then probably say, oops, you are now, thank you. Okay, we're gonna say thank you for your subscription, for your subscription. I'm not sure what exactly, for your subscription. I think that's it. I'm gonna say remove that. I think that's all for this video, and don't forget to subscribe so you will automatically notify when I'm going to release the next part of this video, which is the back in stock functionality, and anytime this week. So keep tuned, and thank you for your time, and looking forward to see each other again. Bye for now.